WJG Sports. We journal great.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Just Like Most podcast, episode 61. I'm Kai Jones, your host here with my co-host, Leica Abibi, who's in Greenville. Striker Nation 24, you already know him. You love him. You love to see it. And then now today, of course, we have a special guest, one of the hottest mixtapers in the entire hoop state, Brandon Corbett, a.k.a. Corb's Production. What's going on, my man?
What's happening, fellas? How y'all boys doing?
Good, man. Glad to be here.
Go ahead, Kyle. You can start. You start.
All right. Of course, Brandon, you are a Johnson County alum. You've been to a lot of different Johnson County high schools before you graduated. This year, of course, you came back to the hometown and started shooting videos. So what was it like, kind of being back in the home, being back in your home, kind of doing your thing? And also, what was it kind of like, you said that you've been to 3 different Johnson County high schools. So talk to us a little bit about the background of how that happened.
Yeah, man, I went to Clayton, Cleveland, and Corinth in that order. I went to Clayton my freshman year, and then Cleveland only first semester sophomore year, and then ended up moving over to the Corinth area where I finished out school. So I feel like everything came full circle because now I'm doing what I'm doing. And a lot of the staff, teachers, like principals, they're all still there. So I'm familiar with them. They know my face. So it's made it real easy, to be, in that atmosphere, But, yeah, no, I love recording around the hometown. And, yeah.
So, of course, I believe, I saw something, you posted on IG about, you kind of just bought a camera and just kind of jumped into it. I mean, what was kind of the process of getting the camera, and, was that kind of something that you had always thought that you were going to do, or was it kind of a new thing for you?
I've always enjoyed watching. I've always been like watching videos, and like they would always give me chills, and I would always take that in. I'm like, this video just gave me chills, and I never really like respected like the art of it, someone making it, but I've always enjoyed watching them. And my buddy told me his girlfriend was selling this camera, and I had been talking about it, so I just bought it, little $200 camera, can't remember what it was, and I just started showing up to Clayton games, recording, bought me a free editing software, and started learning. I just YouTubed how to do this with this software, how to do this effect, etc. Ended up, gaining some traction, and then I just invested, bought a nicer camera, bought a nicer editing software, and to this day, still doing the how do I do this, and just learning, writing it down, and eventually, hopefully master it.
Well, I think you've done pretty well with that, of course.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, he's kind of dabbled in the art. But Brandon, you've really, I really feel like you've grown a lot over the last several months in terms of popularity and stuff around the area and around like outside areas too, in the Triangle and down here. What has influenced you to really continue to improve as a videographer?
Like I said, like now when I watch videos, I really like appreciate like what goes behind it, and I see certain stuff. I'm like, oh, I want to learn how to do that. It's really just I've always been a very competitive person, and I just want to be the best, And as much as I enjoy watching videos, still when I see like something that's like super dope, it almost just like irritates me, because I'm like, that needs to be me. I need to be creating something like that. And it's frustrating at times, but I just know it's all about the process and just figure it out day by day.
Right. Now, of course, you talk about being a competitive person. You talked about a little bit before air about you going to Corinth Holders, and you actually played on the golf team your senior year.
Right.
So how'd you do there?
Did well. We finished as a team 6th in the state. We won regionals. I shot a 80. Actually best on my team at the time. And I remember the day, it was in Riverwood, Clayton, North Carolina. It was pouring down rain all day. We still played. I somehow ended up shooting an 80. I was was probably like the fourth best player on the team. I never shot best at our events, but this day it was just the weather was so crazy, so I was able to slide one out, shoot good at regionals, won that, and went to Pinehurst and played one of their courses for states, which was a good experience because had like college scouts, you have 20, 30 people following your group watching you, and that adds a whole other aspect to the game. People watching you play.
Right.
Wait, so you got to actually play at Pinehurst?
So they have like 8 courses, I think, and I think like the main one is Pinehurst 2.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure if I'm wrong, I'll be corrected.
No, you're right.
We played at one of them, one of the 8. Is Pinehurst number 4 or something. But yeah, no, it was a crazy experience. They announced your name off the tee, Brandon Corbett up the tee, and you got people clapping, and it was different. But I've always loved golf, and I've just always loved the competitive aspect of it.
I would kill to shoot an 80 just once. I would retire from golf on that if I ever.
Hey man, below. Consistency.
I would never play golf again. But
yeah, we all know Micah has began his golf habit over this.
Hey, I like to be consistently shooting 90 or better soon, but I got to really work on it. I real talk, like it's really about the irons, low key. I feel like I'm pretty good with the putter. Sometimes my drive, like I consistently slice my drive low key, but really, if I could work on something, if I could get my irons right, I think I'd be in good shape.
And you drive for show, you putt for dough. You can putt, man.
Hey, look, dude. That's a bar. Okay. That's a bar. But if we want to get into this right quick, talking about some of the Johnston County prospects that you have been able to film and try and get their names out there, who are some of your favorite kids to film around here?
Oh, man, definitely Omarion Hampton, running back out of Cleveland, class of 2022. BJ Freeman, Clayton High School. He just transferred to Word of God, I believe, if that's, yeah. Really just the schools, I went to, just the hometown, atmosphere. And like you said, my popularity, it's kind of just been around like the hometown area. So I enjoy going to the games, seeing the kids and, I enjoy it more than just recording. I enjoy like the relationships. Like, I met you guys. I'd see y'all at games. It's just good vibes, and I just love the atmosphere of sports and especially football. But yeah, I'd say those two boys have been my main, focus, I guess you can say. But yeah, really everybody just around the hometown.
Of course, you've actually gotten really popular when it comes to the AAU scene as well. What was it like kind of trying to break into that and, kind of building those relationships with that?
My best friend's little brother played for Red Storm. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Pooh.
Yes.
And I built a relationship with him. I just started going to tournaments with them locally. And then I actually did my first, it was a hoop group. And I traveled to Virginia Beach, spent money, bought a hotel room, just had money at the time, just figured it'd be a good experience, which it was. And just made videos. When I'm at these events, there's 13, 15 games going on at one time, and I was not sitting down. I was just recording the whole time. I figured learn one thing is you can't shoot too much. So I was just recording the whole time. I catch a crazy clip, find out who the kid is, find him on social media, do something with it. He reposts it. It's just word of mouth at that point. And it just kind of just boomed kind of, when I started.
Right. Of course, you also got a chance to, I believe you went to the middle school, to get me recruited middle schools event.
Fresh out of middle school. Yep.
Yeah. How was that, getting a chance to do that?
That was cool. Mr. Lamont, yeah, we have a pretty good relationship. I haven't talked to him in a little bit, but that was awesome because all those kids knew each other and the competitive, like how competitive it was sweet. And I've known a lot of kids before that event, so getting to see those kids again, and being able to talk to their parents, because I like to build a relationship with their family as well. So that was a good time. There was a lot of good talent there that I had seen on social media, but I hadn't seen in person. And Robert Dillingham was the real deal.
He's arguably the 2023's best prospect.
I think he's going to be something different for sure.
Yeah,
I think Robert Dillingham probably is the best prospect in NC for 2023.
I can see him being the best point guard in the nation.
Close. I think it's close, but I'd give it to Rob. I mean, this man's first game, he's out here playing Oak Hill, and he's fearless out there. And really, I feel like he's gonna be a force for a while. But I mean, we got a whole bunch of 2023s out here that are gonna be some forces too. So,
of course, you've seen Corey Faison, who's from here, 2023.
My guy.
Yeah.
He was on that Red Storm team. Him along with Josh Bullock. I don't know if y'all seen my videos on him. He them two boys. They're on Team Curry. They Pooh did all that, I believe. Got him on Team Curry, and them boys are gonna be really good, really good.
Yeah. So of course, probably the biggest event that you got to cover this year was the John Wall. What was that like?
That was sweet. That was like I said, I'd never seen talent like that before. That was sweet. The atmosphere, there's all the celebrities in the building. Almost bumped Coach K down the steps. Him and Jeff Capel are just walking up, and I'm running down, right like halftime to get some shots on the ground, and I just almost bumped Coach K down the steps. You never know, but
Really?
I was just, I was starstruck. It's probably the first time I've ever been starstruck in person, and I just kind of stepped to the side. I was like, "How you doing, Coach Cable? How you doing? All right." And I just,
and you're just like, "Yeah, that's Jeff Capel and Coach K." Like,
right. Just kept it moving. But no, the John Wall was a great experience. I can't wait for next year and what Webb has in store and what kids we get to see play.
Absolutely. That's actually where I met Brandon. Of course, we had a really good time out there. Honestly, for me, what made the John Wall was seeing Montverde Academy. Oh my goodness!
Right, debatably the best high school team ever, and we got to see them play.
We got to see them wreak havoc for 3 games, and I think Webb might have mentioned this once, but I feel like they were too good to play in that event.
That was the only disappointing thing about watching them play is there was no competition.
Super different, real talk. Yeah. I couldn't believe what I saw. They beat the number 4 team in the country by 40 points.
Right. Granted, they didn't have what's Buddy's name who just committed to ECU?
Noah Farrakhan.
He was sick or something. There was something up with that.
Yeah, he played one. He only played against Farmville and then didn't play the other 2 games.
Right. It was something. I'm not exactly sure.
But either way, it was once again an incredible experience. I went from in 2018, I was sitting in Broughton student section getting made fun of by J. Mike Blake and everybody else in the media up top. And now the next year I'm covering the event. So
what's up? Hey, now you just fill their role. You just don't make fun of people.
Yeah, I don't judge anybody. You know that.
Yeah. Yes,
all love over here, people. You know that.
Always.
All right. So then we look at it. What was probably your favorite mix that you got to do this year?
Ooh, favorite mix. Probably. Man. Off top.
It's a tough question. It is.
It is off top. And it's funny because every time I make a dope one, I'm like, this is my favorite. This is the best one, and just feel like that's how it should be. I'd say Omarion's season 1.
Yeah, no doubt. That's a good one.
And either that or just the Farmville Central semifinal game.
Yeah, that's right. We were sitting on the floor for that one. I remember that. That was an incredible basketball game.
Seeing Bobby Pettiford play, that was a good experience. But if I had to choose, definitely all the Omarion ones, because football for me is this way up here with basketball. Don't get me wrong, I love basketball. I love all competitive sports, but football is it for me.
Right. I mean, and also too, when you look at your camera work, man, you've also been doing some stuff for rappers and then also for weddings and stuff. What is it kind of like being able to kind of branch out into those type of fields?
It's been dope. I mean, like I said, I'm all about relationships, and I've had people contact me, like rappers and people for weddings. Luckily, a close friend of mine gave me the opportunity to do a wedding for his sister, and it kind of gave me like an example to show people. So now I've been booked for a little bit more weddings, and yeah, no, it's been cool. I really like telling a story with what I do. I try to do that with all my mixes as well, as much as I can, with like whether it's like the music, the soundtrack, or just like the style of the clips. I really just try to tell a story, whether it's only a minute, 2 minutes. So I feel like with the wedding and like music videos and stuff like that, I'd be able to tell a dope story.
What is it also kind of like, Instagram and trying to run that as well as kind of trying to build that brand?
And that's kind of where I'm at now, where I've always told myself at the beginning is I have to prove myself, kind of build a portfolio for myself before I can really start charging and, making it more official. So I'm kind of at the point where I've kind of earned my respect and I can take that next step. So yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out right now. And like with doing stuff outside of sports, I just got to figure out how to market all the right places the right way. But I don't want to make the wrong move either. You
Right. That's one of the toughest thing I think for anybody who is trying to break into a creator is how much to charge, when to charge, who to charge, and kind of what to charge as well.
Right. And I like with the sports, I do it because I love it. I love building a
Right.
relationship with these kids because, not saying this happened to me necessarily, but I wasn't shown all the possibilities and like what certain decisions, what impact that can have like on my life or my career, or. So I like telling these kids like, hey man, like my thing is the sky is the limit. Like I promise you, you have so much time. The sky is the limit. So I like building a relationship with these kids.
Right, and we look at it as well. Sports is a really good tool to, mentor as well as use your creative side.
Right. No, for sure. And yeah. And just everything's changing now, it's all about, the creation, what these kids are posting and all that. And I understand like people like to look cool on social media and they kind of have their image, but at the same time, kind of where we're going with it, that's kind of, with just all the access we have to the internet nowadays, these coaches are asking, DM me your huddle tape, these coaches are looking at kids' social media. Like, you never know what somebody's going to see like online. So good or bad.
Yeah, it's a really different time, especially for a time like this where we're in a pandemic and it's hard to get film out because obviously there's no there's no games being played, so it's going to be pretty much high school film for now.
Right.
Obviously, there might be some camp. I think there's some camps going on from around or something, but really just like trying to get the kids to realize that it's a different time and they're judged a whole lot differently now than kids were in the past because it's of social media and stuff. So really, it's about trying to make sure you go about things the right way and and I really think like posts and stuff. It happens to be the way too, and with like content creators too. I feel like there are a lot more independent content creators who are coming out the mud, trying to do it with low financials and stuff. So it's really a different time, honestly.
No, for sure. And at the end of the day, you can have whatever persona you have on social media, but eventually you're gonna have to put a face to what you got going on, and that'll determine whether or not you're about it or you're not.
Well, just at me next time, man. I was a faceless account for a while.
No. You know what I mean? I'm talking about like athletes, like because kids will tell me, hey, make this hype tape for me, but they're playing 5 minutes a game and they want me to make some hype thing for them. Like I understand, like putting that on your social media is gonna like look good and all, but put that time in on the court, so that way you don't have to ask me and I'll end up just coming across.
I can relate. I was the kid that played like 5 seconds a game, so I went in that mix.
Oh, yeah, me too. Me too. I played football all throughout high school, and I was always just scrawny wide receiver. I played the most at Cleveland, and but yeah, always a scrawny guy.
Did you good route runner though?
Huh?
Did you run routes then? Were you a good route runner, or did you have?
Yeah, my
good
problem
routes?
was the release though, man. I was always so small, so I was always getting jammed at the line. But best believe if they were playing off, it was a wrap.
You were going out running. That's what.
Wrap.
Oh man. Go ahead,
Yeah.
God.
So then we also, when you talk about that, what is it kind of like, kind of being in the basketball world, versus like, man, football doesn't get quite as much attention here.
I see nothing but opportunity, and we've talked about this.
Oh, yeah.
Like Webb and them have what they have going on there at Hoop State, and I think they're gonna just only go up from here. Sky's the limit. But the conversation isn't even there for football. And I feel with just how much more structured the football season is compared to like the basketball season, I feel like it'd be a lot easier to put something like that together. One night a week, Friday. You doesn't really take much. You have. I don't know. I'm kind of just going off on the thought. I lost it, but yeah, no, yeah. Football there's a lot of opportunity there for football because nobody's really doing it, and I feel like that's what really appeals me the most to football.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some great teams out here east of 95, and then even JoCo all the way down here to Wayne. We got good teams all over the place and good prospects too. So like it's there for us to go see them and get their name out there, of course.
Right.
And I feel like that's part of that opportunity. You got teams like Southern Nash out here with a great football program, Havelock, your Northeasterns,
Right.
teams like that. Like just an example. I know there are plenty of others, but just teams off the top that you can get. I mean, from between Kai and I know Kai got to see a lot of New Bern, and New Bern's got a great program coming back. They got kids coming back too. So, really just from anywhere around here, you can get good football content and really express it and show it to the rest of the state and to the rest of the Southeast. Maybe get kids' names out there.
No, for sure. And that's what I really respect what y'all do. Like me and you were talking earlier just about the statistics. I don't have the patience for that, to get it all down. Like who's in the lead of this conference.
My 5-subject notebook,
Yes, sir, man. I just don't have the patience for that. But that's why I really respect what y'all do because y'all are able to maintain that along with your social media presence and your relationships with these athletes, And that's what I really respect about y'all and what y'all got going on.
Oh, yeah, no, it's definitely difficult trying to maintain and keep up with all the teams and where people are moving and what's going on.
Yeah, when WJG Sports has 20 coverage area team, 20, right, Kai? 20 or 19?
Football 16.
Football, oh yeah, well for football it would be 16 teams, but 20 overall, and then I have 17 teams myself. So it is hard to keep up with movement and stuff, and it's really it's good to have people like Kai Jones who really focuses in on getting news out, getting content out, getting all the stuff out, and really, and it isn't just people like Kai. It's Junior Smith III at ENC Moments, and a whole bunch of other people out here, like Malcolm Shields up in Northeast NC, and a whole bunch of other guys. There are a lot of people that do a really good job, like Chris Decker and all of them. So I'm really blessed to be a part of a real good group of colleagues. And I didn't name everybody again, but who you are. Shout out to y'all.
So is it just y'all two?
For WJG?
Yeah, technically, yeah.
Yeah, Kai Jones and
of course,
people who think are Kai Jones.
I say there's people like you, Trey, different people who contribute when they can, but really it's just us two.
Yeah, y'all produce a lot of content just for y'all two, whether it's the podcast or the mixtapes. People don't understand how long editing takes, and especially me, my laptop is not the best at all. It's just an i5, and whenever I get into a big project, it starts running slow, and something that should take 5 minutes takes 2 hours because you got to close the project, and y'all produce a lot of
Videographer
content.
probs.
I'm telling you, man, it's the struggle. I can't wait to talk about it later whenever I have, whatever I need. So.
Yeah, no, I mean it definitely takes a minute. The biggest thing I think was just trying to figure out exactly what I needed. Because I actually switched programs, after the end of I want to say the end of baseball season. After everything kind of closed, I found like a new editing software, and it's actually really kind of changed the way I've been able to edit, and that's the one thing I'm very blessed of. Being able to just kind of have something different that's been a lot better, so I don't have some of those same problems that you're talking about, where you talk about, you try to get a project up that's, longer than 10, 20 minutes, and you're crashing every 2 seconds, and
right.
You got to go back and render something, and you got to go back and delete this and delete that and come back and put it back in.
It's sickening to think about, man, because especially with creating, I have to be like in a creative mode, like a certain mindset to even want to do it. Because if I'm not in the right mindset and I'm just over here just doing BS, I'm just getting off. So if I'm in the mode and that stuff starts happening, there's nothing more discouraging.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really like, by the way, that app would be LumaFusion. Shout out to LumaFusion.
Sponsor.
Yeah, straight shameless plug. That's all I do here. I'm like the king of promotion here, but either way, like Kai actually introduced me to LumaFusion, like you just mentioned, and really, I'd never made mixtapes before until like the last few months. Like I never really done it before, so and it was really good to have people like Kai and Trey get me footage so that I can, mess around with software and stuff, and that's what led to all those Jacksonville Cardinal Grove basketball players mixtapes that I have on my personal YouTube channel, and I've realized, man, it's really fun to do. And
it is.
It's
I love
incredible.
it, man. I love it so much.
Yeah, I mean the biggest thing is the biggest thing I love when that post feeling when you first finish it and you're looking at it 15 times trying to make sure it's exactly the way you want it to be.
Man, I'm telling you.
Every time it's just like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for.
Right.
There's the one.
I'll try to like get like the whole video done, and then those like little final touches, those will take 3 times as long as the actual, like creating of it.
Facts.
But it all makes sense in the end, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I think the thing about it is sometimes, I think the fun thing about the creating of them is the times where you do something that's kind of small to the average eye. Like the average eye is just kind of like, oh, okay. But then you see something that's like, oh, okay, I see what they were trying to go for right there.
Right.
That's one of the things I like about watching yours, because, you see different things. You're like, okay, I could try that, or, oh, I should have did that.
Right.
There's been a few of yours where I've been like, man, I wish I would have made that one.
No, yeah. Then that's how, like I was saying earlier, that's how I feel whenever I watch any other mixes, like these guys on Slam and whatnot that have been doing it for however long. And I just want to master it, man. And I want to kind of not fade away from like just strictly mixtapes, but I want to find a way to just make it a lot more longevity, do a lot more.
Absolutely. I really think me, like for us, like just getting game highlights in general is pretty easy, but like making a mix for an individual, it's got to have so much. It's got to have a lot of what you feel is right, like for a player like that, like the right music, obviously, like effects and stuff. And I feel like you don't really want to go too overboard, but if you have to, you have to,
Right. I can't even listen to music the same anymore. Like I'll annoy my boys. I'll be like, they'll play a song and I'll just be like, yo, what is this? This is going in the next mix. Like that's just how I listen to music now.
Exactly. Yeah. When I find instrumentals on YouTube, I'm like that too.
Yeah.
Shout out to Free for Profit Beats. We need that.
Man, tell you what, that
We need
copyright's.
that.
I tell you something I've learned over the past year and some change doing this is copyright.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Boy.
yeah. In the back of my mind, like for the WJG Sports YouTube channel, which you should subscribe to, by the way, shameless plug. But like in the back of my mind, I'm just thinking like all these copyright claims are kind of adding up, you know. But it's all good. I mean,
Yeah.
the Free for Profit Beats have really helped.
Yeah, copyright claims are kind of scary too because sometimes it's like, well, we're gonna kick you off of this one. Like,
Oh yeah, it's only
I'm
gonna get
like, oh
scarier.
no, we just got close to 1,000.
It's only gonna get scarier.
When it comes to Instagram, I don't care about Instagram because Instagram normally is like, okay, it's just banned in like every country except for the USA. Okay, that's fine.
All right. Right on the nose.
Twitter, they'll actually like lock your account, make you go through like a little
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I can do that.
now those be a little bit scary. Then you get a little email, so and so has deleted your tweet. They've claimed that you've used their music. You're like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that actually happened to our Twitter page. That's crazy. I was like, huh? For what? And it was like several months ago. We hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah, they do that to me. Like I'd post a video like 3 months ago, and then like tomorrow I'll get a message saying your tweet has been removed or whatever.
I'm just like, come on,
I just need that initial 24 hours. Get it out there. Put it in someone's mentions. But then it's all good.
Yeah, I don't mind if you delete it 3 months from now. So that's
right.
fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was 3 months. Yeah, facts. Exactly. Because it gets you the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Corey.
You can use the initial. I don't know. You can use the initial 30 seconds of a song. That's when like the whatever bot like to text the song. So I've kind of mastered it where my mixes, if you notice, they've started being like 2 songs. So it'll be 25 seconds and 25 seconds. So,
okay.
Yeah.
He's hot.
Big brain.
That's big brain talk.
Yes,
big
sir.
brain.
And that's the dopest part. Like I love transitioning, like, and then Omarion one, like the one I just released, we worked out and did like the Meek Mill intro, and then it cut into the MGK Young Thug song, just finding like that transition. And I've always loved music, and that's when another thing coming full circle. So always loved music. So like finding like that transition that's the dopest part to me. That's before I put any visual on it. I always do the soundtrack first.
Right. Of course, you've talked a little bit about Omarion. What is he like as a person? Because honestly, I've never gotten a chance to actually interview him because a few of the games I went, I left out the first half, and then some of them, he didn't have the biggest game. Like I think the one that I stayed for the second half was Skylar's 5 touchdown game. So what is he like as a person?
Quiet. Very, very quiet. We work together. But whenever it's like conversation, it's like, yeah, no, this, that, this route, we haven't really had any like personal, like one-on-one conversation about anything other than like football. But no, he's super quiet. I had him and you saw the mic'd up video I did with Keyshawn Monk, the defensive back. I had him and Omarion both mic'd up. Couldn't do nothing with Omarion because he just won't talk. Was not talking.
I love that.
I do too.
I love it. This man, he does the only thing he talks with is his feet and the football in his hand, and when he's running through you.
He's always hitting the teed up whenever he scores. I love that because he's a beast. And I've always stressed to like people who I tell about him, I'm like, this kid is one of the best running backs in the nation, and you don't hear a peep out of him. He scores, he hands the ball to the ref, and he goes back to the sideline until he has to come back out.
Yeah. Exactly. That's why
he's doing the teed up. He's letting you know he's teed up. I pray for any kid that meets him in the open field next year.
Nah, see, the funniest thing I've heard was because he played JV basketball this year, and
I saw him out there looking like a ox.
Does he play like a football player that plays basketball? You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? The football players that
Ones that be
funny was somebody was telling me that somebody actually stepped up to take a charge on him.
What? Do they not know who he is? Like
coming down full speed, because that's the thing. People don't know who he is when he's on the court. Full speed, took it into the chest.
Oof.
Good night.
Damn.
Well, that's why this man had 2,402 yards, 35 rushing touchdowns, and then 4 more receiving touchdowns. I mean,
I'm very excited for them Cleveland boys this year. You know, I built a great relationship with them, and I've kind of been keeping tabs on them, and they're working.
And it's not just Omarion too. I know we're gonna get into football previews starting in July, hopefully, right, Kai? I think so.
Yeah.
And really, Cleveland comes in that they're probably the number 1 team in the area coming back this year, I would say. And you can probably pencil them in for at least double-digit win season, I think. Would you say that?
Right. I would say they don't lose a conference game.
Yeah, it's not just Omarion. It's Skylar Locklear. It's Hunter Morris defensively. It's a whole bunch of other cats that they got ready.
Ishan Monk can really hit too.
Ishan Monk, he's got some good footwork. I'm excited for him. Like you said, Hunter Morris. I think Hunter Morris is going to try to move to tight end as well.
Oh, we got insider corps? Is he a
maybe.
A little.
I mean, being 6'3" and running a 4.4 as a tight end, that's not bad.
He's put on some muscle too.
And he's starting to get some offers. I'm really happy he's starting to get some offers too. That's really
and he's there. You know, like he is all like.
Oh yeah.
That's a very he's beyond his years mentally. So
yeah. But by the way, that conference, the running the table in conference, I don't think any of the other teams want to hear that. But I mean, it is hard to pick against that considering who they have returning. I mean, obviously we just said Omarion and Skylar. I mean, having the two-headed monster back is obviously going to put them in position to do what they did last year, maybe even further.
Yeah, I'm very excited for him. And then also another shout out to Cameron Goggins, I believe his name is. He's a freshman. He's going to be a freshman this year, coming out of Cleveland Middle. Both basketball.
Oh, you're talking about Cameron Goins?
Goins, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Heard about him. Both on the basketball court and the football field.
Yep.
He
played.
People are saying he's good when all three of us are just going,
I ran into him when I first started going to Archer's Lodge basketball games, and it was like when I first started. Might have been one of my first ever games. I was going to Archer's Lodge Middle games.
Yeah.
And they were playing in Cleveland Middle, and I saw him, and I was just like, who is this? This is when he was in 7th grade.
Right.
And now I think he played. Go ahead.
I said he actually made Bucket Reel's freshman to watch list this year.
Okay.
So he's on that list as well. So he's
if you're on Bruton's list coming out of middle school, like if he's on the list of rising freshmen, that must mean you were pretty good.
I believe he played for Garner Road as well. That's where he played his AAU ball.
I think that's correct. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's going to be one of many rising freshmen to look at once we really get into the season. We're going to find out who's who and see who's coming up next through JoCo and through Wayne and Greene County. You never know because I'm really excited. I know we're in quarantine and all this other stuff, and there hasn't really been much sports, but as of this recording, it's June 14th, and sports are supposed to start back up in some areas tomorrow. So I know we're all chomping at the bit to get back at it.
Especially football season, like I said, I'm pumped.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I think that's about it, man. We appreciate you for letting us know you were free on a Sunday afternoon so that we could come down and sit down and have a nice talk.
Yes, sir. Long overdue.
For a little bit.
Absolutely, Brandon. Thank you so much for joining us. Brandon, where can they find you on social media? I think we know this, but just let the people know who you are on social media so people can find the great work that you do.
You can find me on Instagram at Corbs Productions. You can find me on YouTube, Corbs Productions. I'm on Twitter. It's just _Corbs. I'm not really as active on there. It's mainly Instagram. Yeah, that's where you can find me.
It's on your hoodie too, correct?
Yeah.
Show it to the can. There it is.
And there's 2 S's on Instagram as well, right?
2 S's. Yeah, this is just the O, Corbs Production. Merch coming soon. Coronavirus kind of put a little halt to that, but I'm gonna start dropping some merch, different designs. So I'm kind of excited about that.
You have to run me one, sir. And
yes, sir. No problem.
We here at the Just Like Brothers podcast, we are the king of promotion. By we, I mean me. We got to promote all of our great content creators and all this stuff. So, you got our support, man. Thank you again.
Yeah, man. Y'all as well, man. It's all love from here.
Absolutely. Of course, the podcast, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. Continue to subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs, hopefully by the end of the month. We hope so. On Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the podcasting platforms. And you know where to find Kai and myself. So, episode 61 of the Just Like Brothers podcast. We'll see you next time. Peace. And let's see.